Legendary heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson has recently been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Within the last few weeks, he's been involved in not one but two viral quarrels with fans. This has led many to wonder whether the former world heavyweight champion has lost the plot. And in today's video, we're talking about these multiple fan altercations. So let's get into it. First up, the latest Mike Tyson fan altercation. Is there anything worse than over-enthusiastic fans? Mike Tyson certainly doesn't seem to think so. Earlier this month, the Hall of Famer was in Las Vegas to attend the events before Shakur Stevenson's bout with Oscar Valdez, and it was here that this latest incident took place. Mike was taking pictures with fans when a woman stuck her finger a little too close to his face. It really looked like she was trying to put her finger in his nose. The former world heavyweight champion obviously didn't take that well and immediately turned around to confront the woman. The woman started apologizing and said that she did not mean to do that. Luckily, his security rushed over to de-escalate the situation and he was steered away from the scene. Phew, we're really glad she got out of that unharmed. Who knows what would have happened if his security hadn't acted quickly. Next, fans get punched repeatedly by the boxing legend. Pro tip, if you're on a flight with one of the most fearsome boxers of all time, please don't annoy him. Apparently, Mike was preparing to fly from San Francisco to Florida via JetBlue, and a drunk fan sitting behind him kept harassing him. In the videos, you can see the fan called Melvin Townsend trying to talk to him despite Mike looking visibly uncomfortable. Take a hint, Melvin. Eventually, the former boxer got irritated with the fan and started punching him in the face repeatedly, while other passengers tried to stop him. After the incident, Mike walked off the plane as soon as he could. According to Mike's representatives, the intoxicated fan was constantly harassing him and even threw a water bottle at him, which initiated the fight between the two. Now, onto the fan's side of the story. Melvin's lawyers told TMZ that their client is a big Mike Tyson fan. When Mike boarded the plane, he became overly excited. In the beginning, Mike was polite, but eventually he got agitated and started striking Melvin in an excessively aggressive manner. They added that the situation could have easily been avoided if Mike had just contacted the flight attendant. They also denied that their client threw a water bottle at Mike and said that he should have shown more restraint. A source close to Melvin told TMZ that he was still in shock and hadn't decided what his next steps would be. However, the situation de-escalated soon. A California district attorney recently revealed that he wasn't going to file any charges against Mike because of the circumstances surrounding the altercation. He also said that both Mike and the fan requested that no charges be filed in this case. Up next, a man pulls out a gun after challenging Mike to a fight. However, these aren't the only problems Mike has faced this year. In March, Mike was at a small comedy club in Hollywood when he became involved in a pretty scary situation. In the video footage released by TMZ, a man could be seen rudely interrupting the show and approaching him. What the man saying isn't really audible, but eyewitnesses have revealed that he was challenging Mike to a fight so that he could upgrade his status. The baddest man on the planet refused to engage with him, and eventually the host intervened. The host told the challenger to leave the club and shoved him away from Mike. The man didn't take kindly to that and pulled out a gun. For a second, everyone thought something terrible was about to happen, but he had a change of heart and put his gun away. Thankfully, Mike didn't break a sweat during this situation and kept his cool. The man then went to him again and the two hugged it out. We gotta say, we're extremely glad no one got hurt during this extremely weird incident. He was also attacked by an angry fan in 2020. In December 2020, Mike Tyson made a return to boxing for a fight against Roy Jones Jr., and the fight ended in a draw. However, he soon came very close to getting into another fight outside of the boxing ring. While signing autographs for fans, an unidentified man yelled at him and asked why he wouldn't fight him. Mike reportedly replied by joking that it probably wouldn't end well for him. To be fair, he wasn't wrong. This is where the fan lost it and tried to attack Iron Mike. He even allegedly reached into his waistband for a weapon, but was stopped by people around him and the guy soon went away. Seriously, what's it with Mike and weird altercations with fans? Now, for some other controversies Mike has been part of. Mike's one of the most polarizing sportsmen of all time, and he's had his share of ugly controversies during his time under the public eye. He married actress and model Robin Givens in 1988, but she divorced him just 8 months later. In an interview with U.S. journalist Barbara Walters, Robin revealed that she was scared of her husband and that he would often try to intimidate her. On another occasion, she told People that after the divorce, Mike would threaten to make her life so miserable that she'd take her own life. Mike later admitted to Oprah Winfrey that he had, in fact, punched Robin, but the abuse went both ways. He said that she had socked him before as well, and that it was just that kind of a relationship. In 1989, Mike was arrested for raping raping model Desiree Washington in a hotel room in Indianapolis. Desiree was just 18 years old at the time. He protested that he had her full consent, but he was found guilty and sentenced to 6 years in prison. Many assumed that his career was over and that he'd never be able to come back from this. Who could forget biting his opponent's ear off? Mike spent 3 years in prison, and when he got out, he immediately made his return to boxing. He defeated multiple fighters with ease, winning both the WBC and WBA titles. However, his great run stopped when he faced Evander Holyfield. He lost the first fight, and during the rematch on the 28th of June 1997, he did something unbelievable. In what is perhaps the most shocking moment in the history of the sport, Mike bit his opponent on both of his ears. The final bite was so severe that a piece of Holyfield's ear was actually found on the floor after the fight. He was obviously disqualified from the match, suspended for boxing, and fined around £2 million. In our opinion, that's a small price to pay for literally biting someone's ear off in front of the entire world. Mike might return to boxing soon. Despite his many controversies, Mike's one of the most celebrated boxers of all time, and fans have been wondering if he'll ever step into the ring again. And it seems like the wait is over. The legend's set to face one of the biggest social media influencers in the world, Jake Paul, in an exhibition fight soon. This potential matchup's already been talked about a lot in the past, with Jake repeatedly trying to convince Mike to face him in a ring. However, Iron Mike made it clear that he'll only participate in this fight if the pay-per-view record can be broken. This time, the news has come from Mike himself. While talking to the Club Random podcast, he revealed that he's going to call Jake soon, and they're going to talk about the details of the fight. Iron Mike has praised Jake in the past, stating that he's a fantastic promoter and fighter. We have no doubts that if this fight does happen, it'll be one of the biggest moments in boxing and internet history. Finally, fans react to Mike Tyson's return to boxing. Obviously, Mike's one of the most popular fighters on the planet, and fans are extremely hyped to see him step into the ring again. One fan tweeted that Mike was coming to save boxing again. Another replied by saying that he doesn't need to save boxing, he just needs to knock Jake Paul's teeth out. However, not everybody's thrilled about the controversial athlete's return to boxing. Many believe that he's a dangerous man and should be kept away from the sport in every way. One fan tweeted that with so many young people watching, men like Mike Tyson shouldn't be given a platform. Many also pointed out his rape and abuse allegations and said that they should have put an end to his career a long time ago. Whatever you may think of the man, it's very difficult to keep him away from the news. Recently, it hasn't really been for positive reasons, but let's see what the future brings. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Mike Tyson's multiple fan altercations this year? Has he finally lost the plot? Please let us know in the comments below. As always, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.